Everyone, this is Brian with International Security Training, and this week we're going to begin a six-part series on reducing local crime. For those of you who have gone through my courses or webinars, workshops, and such, one of the things I really try to push out is a marketing technique for executive protection agents is to go out and do short 1 and 2 hour crime prevention seminars. I want you guys to become a leader in your community when it comes to crime prevention. That way people know, like, and trust you. And when it comes to marketing your services, those three things, having other people who can afford your services, know, like, and trust you, is going to be a huge benefit. That is one reason for doing this. Let's say you're not going to start your own business and it's not going to be a marketing approach. This is one of the most important things a person can do in their neighborhood, is to reduce local crime. In this day and age, the ability to access weapons in the black market or in the gang world is increasing. It's very easy to get something if you want it, regardless of the local laws. So this is what we're going to do for the next probably couple weeks, and I'm going to give you guys the curriculum so that way when you go and you lead these seminars or these groups, if you choose to lead them, I want you to sound like a true professional and know what you're talking about, and kind of steer you on a path that allows you to improve this curriculum and maybe customize it for your local area. So part one is going to deal with working with the local agencies. So what are those agencies? Well, let's start with the basics. Police and sheriff's office. They should have, and if they don't, maybe you can be the one to begin these, but they should have neighborhood watch or community patrols. Now, these patrols are very important, and you have to get involved with these without gung-ho aggressive attitudes. All right, so we need to watch who we recruit in there and have a basic training that revolves around these three things. You need to observe, report, and record. Do not engage bad guys. Do not make contact. Okay? If you get spotted, or as we call it, getting burned when you're doing a surveillance, learn how to back off. Okay? But if you observe the area, you see a crime going down, you immediately report it by calling 911 or a non-emergency number, whatever is most appropriate, and then you record it. If you're in public and you're in the community and you're recording, there is no expectation of privacy. That is a legal thing to do. And then back off. Let the professionals handle it. Do not engage people. If you work in a city where you have a right to carry a firearm, you do not chase people down. You do not antagonize. You do not aggravate. Okay? The only reason why you carry a firearm is for self-defense purposes. And self-defense doesn't mean you can go run your mouth and escalate a situation. All right? That will get you in trouble as well. So, what about the fire department? Well, the fire department can help enforce health and fire codes, which is one of the things we're actually going to talk about later. But the fire department, in concert with building and housing authorities, can do a lot when it comes to code enforcement. If you hold your residents to a higher standard of living, and you do so in as a cooperative manner as possible without being jerks about it, you're going to improve your neighborhood and your locality immensely. Religious institutions. So go to the churches. Find out if they're interested in helping reduce local crime. They have to do this in a way that doesn't turn people off. So there's a little balance here. When I've seen religious groups, regardless of the actual religion themselves, but they'll go into schools, and for some reason they always end up saying, let's reduce crime, let's be nice because that's what God wants us to do. Or, this is how we get into heaven. Well, once you start down that path, it probably turns off about half the people you're talking to. So remind the churches and the religious institutions that they're talking to a difficult group. So in half the cases. So if you want to get kids to actually listen to you, sometimes we have to put that stuff aside and just teach them that The reason why we want to reduce crime and be nice is because it's the nice and right thing to do as human beings, period. So hopefully you can get them on board. Also, go look for family resource centers and the child protection agencies in your area and domestic violence victim agencies. I wish I would have typed that in there. Write that down in your notes. Domestic violence victim agencies. Find out what they're doing to protect people after the fact. Find out if they have the resources. And obviously, they're always going to say, well, we could use money for this and that. If you actually see a legitimate problem, be their champion. Be out there rooting for them, trying to, get money swayed towards the agencies that you feel is best for your community. But these are the groups that we want to be making contact with. And hopefully these ideas here have maybe triggered some other groups that I failed to mention. When you go and you meet with these folks and you tell them that you're trying to put together a program for reducing local crime, ask them what problems exist in your area. I can guarantee you, when you start talking to people, you're going to learn of things that you just never would have thought of. You see, and the reason is because we have our own filter. We see our neighborhood and our lifestyle through our own set of glasses. It's based on what we do for a living, the routes we take for work, how busy we are. Maybe we're not busy at all. So who knows what's going on, but you got to find out what is going on from your perspective and from others as well. You're going to be talking and learning about things like thefts, robberies, drug dealing, gang violence, right? After school violence. That just means kids getting picked on to and from school. Bullying. Those two things may go hand in hand. Gun crimes, domestic violence. You need to find out what is going on in your area. It might be, mob-related things, depending on what area you live on, right? So let's find out what the true problem is. And then ask for ideas in preventing the above. That is where things get tricky, yet are the most important. It's easy to call cops every time a crime goes down. Who knows if that's going to work? Bad guys are persistent, so is law enforcement. That battle's been going on forever. We have to get in the heads, in the minds of the younger generation and the parents of that current generation, and hopefully the parents that care the most. Some parents care, most parents care, some don't. And we have to really try to motivate the ones who do care. Determine if residents in your area are active. Do they report crime? Or is this area really fear retaliation? That is a real thing. I've been in areas where the loudest, strongest people have the most fear of retaliation. And the quieter, the more meek personalities out there, they'll pick up a phone and dial 911 in a heartbeat. So see what type of area or what the heartbeat of that area is at this time, and ask your law enforcement agencies and your local groups, what can we do to reduce that fear and improve the reporting of crime? And then ask, obviously, how this retaliation can be prevented and reduced, and that will reduce the fear. Increase prevention with anti-noise laws, health and fire codes, anti-nuisance laws, drug-free clauses in your rental and lease agreements. You see, all this stuff here at the bottom, when done consistently and with an air of, an attitude of concern, yet you want to be fair, you want to be concise, but you got to be firm with these things. What that starts to do is it makes a neighborhood or an apartment building or a complex or a subdivision, it makes them less attractive to the criminal element because they don't want people in their business. If you do that correctly, neighborhoods are going to improve. So that is all I have for today when it comes to working with local agencies. Part 2 is going to be working with children, and hopefully we'll crank that out in 2 to 3 days. So my name is Brian with International Security Training. And until next time, stay safe.